Hi, everybody. Alrighty, everybody. Just enjoying a nice glass of unsweet tea here. Brought to you by... No, not really. I just needed the gallon jug. Don't buy tea. Everybody in the South should know how to make sweet tea and unsweet tea. I drink unsweet tea. Stop buying tea. Just buy one so you can have the gallon container and then make your own tea. Well, how much water do I use? Or how much tea do I use, Mitchell? I don't care. I don't know. Do you like it strong? Do you like it weak? Do you like it really sweet? Do you like it half and half? Make it however you want, but make it yourself. A box of tea bags costs $1.89 or something. I think this originally cost more than that for a single gallon, and I think I can get like 20 gallons out of my box of tea. So make your own tea, people. It's cheap. It's like cheap as chips. Come on. So, but that's not what we're here for. We are not here for me to berate you for your spending habits. My oven was on, sorry about that. Got a little bit warm down there. Thought I was going through the change, but apparently not, just the oven. Here we are at my house again because tonight we are going to do feeding our starter one night before we actually bake our bread, and I'm going to show you how to make chicken stock from scratch. It's something that my family makes all the time. We can make any type of soup, chili, anything with it. It freezes really well, super cheap, and you already have everything that you need for it, most likely, especially if you go to the store and get one of the pre-made chickens. The rules. Don't ask me questions during the video. You can ask questions, but I'm not going to answer them because the writing's like that big and I can't see it. Don't send me friend requests because I don't know you people and I don't want to know you people. But much more importantly than that, you don't want to know me. And then I think that's it. 3 rules? 2 rules? Let's go with 2. So let's start. We're going to feed Fancy first. Oh, nope, this is Reba. We're going to feed Reba first. This is my handy dandy food scale, which you should have by now. I'm not turning it on, I'm just pouring some off. Let's see here. About here is where Reba is. So about half of Reba is right here-ish. So we pour some off and we're almost there. There we go. That's half. And then I've got some flour here. Notice that wonderful measure, some. I don't know how much, but let me lift it up so you guys can see. What I'm doing is trying to do half starter, 1/4 flour, and 1/4 water so that I can bring it back to where it was. I don't think that's quite it. I think that's probably it, or at least close enough. And then a little water, not too much. You can always add more. And then, yeah, it might be a little thin. Maybe not. Let's see. Uno momento. Yeah, no, that's a good, yeah, it's a little thin, but, so it looks like that. Little thin. I'm gonna add more flour to it. And stir it back up. That's better. Reba's always been thicker than Fancy, if you know what I mean. There we go. Yes. All right, perfect. Now I can put the lid back on it and set it off to the side, and I can grab Fancy. And now I will turn on my scale so I know exactly how much 200 grams is. Let's see here. Ooh, it goes fast. Okay, well, that's 200 grams. That was a lot faster than I thought. Let me grab a towel And then my water and my flour. Precisely. Oh, wait, let me wait to mock you. Okay, now I can mock you. Precisely 100 grams of pure mineral water, coupled with precisely 100 grams of the finest King Arthur all-purpose flour that you can buy, as long as you buy King Arthur. And if not, then it would be the finest of whatever you bought, as long as it's all-purpose. A couple of people asking about self-rising flour. You can't start your starter. That's definitely not going to go all the way down in there. I don't know if I have anything that will go all the way down in there. You definitely can't start your starter with self-rising flour. However, if you need to feed it one time with self-rising flour, that's probably fine. I would not worry about it. It's going to change the pH. Self-rising flour has baking powder in it already, or does it have baking soda? It has one of those in it. And so it's going to change the pH of your starter, but it's not going to change it so much that you have to worry about that. So I don't have anything long enough to go down in here and stir this up, so I'm just going to give it a good mix. And now the feeding of our starter is done. So now it's time to move on to chicken stock. This is one of my favorite and easiest things to make. My family, like I said, we make it all the time. My wife makes it, I make it, whoever happens to use the chicken, we make it. So, how do you make chicken stock? First, you need chicken. Well, I slaved over baking this rotisserie chicken for hours today. I basted it in the finest spices, and then I went out and I got a plastic container and so that I could store it, so that it makes it easy for you guys to see how the chicken looks. So here is my home roasted, some might say rotisserie style chicken that I worked so hard to bake for you all today. This is actual chicken. We don't want that. This is bones and stuff. That's what we want. I'm gonna put the actual chicken over here. Now, down in the bottom of my hand-cooked, scratch-made rotisserie chicken, there is this gelatinous stuff. Make sure you put that in with all of the bones. Now, you see there is some meat in here. That's fine. Nobody cares. It's just food, okay? You're just trying to feed your family, so don't worry about it. Into the crock pot, the chicken goes with all of the delicious gelatinous stuff from my roasting process. It's a family secret that I can't tell you about, how I roast those chickens. And these containers, you can really find these on Amazon. They're great for storing chicken after you hand roast it. Wait, price tag's right here. I mean, price tag for the container. And so these are fantastic. I would definitely stock up on these at your house as well, in case you do your own rotisserie style chicken from scratch. So I've got that. Now into this, we're going to put diced vegetables, typically mirepoix, which would be carrots, celery, and onion that are finely diced. Large dice. A large dice is about 3/4 inch square. So get out some fresh carrots, fresh celery, and fresh onion, and then start dicing. No, people. That's not what we're going to do, because none of you are restaurant people. It doesn't matter. It's just food. So you have a couple of options. You can purchase something like this, which, even though it's backwards, it says mirepoix from Crogère. Lovely French store that we have in my neighborhood. I don't know if you all have such a nice store in your neighborhood, but you could do a mirepoix style blend, which, let me read the ingredients, is onions, carrots, and celery. Told you. Or you can do what I'm going to do. I have a onion, and I have an carrot, and I'm going to put those in. Now, to finely dice your onion, let me see here. To finely dice your onion, you cut it in half and then throw it in. We're not dicing anything, remember? We're not worried about that. We're just trying to make chicken stock for our family so that we can eat. Then I happen to have petite carrots. Some might say, "Oh, look at the little baby carrots." These are actually petite carrots, which would be small. Baby carrots are not baby carrots, people. Baby carrots are ugly carrots that have been chopped down because in America, we apparently care what produce looks like rather than what it tastes like. Can't wrap my mind around that one either, but it is what it is. So I've got petite carrots. I'm going to put some in. Let's see, how many? I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're just making chicken stock. Do you like it like really sweet? Then add more carrots. Do you like it less sweet? Then add less carrots. It doesn't matter. I am going to add some whole black peppercorns. If you can't use, don't use cracked black pepper. So let's go over the recipe real quick. Chicken bones from your homemade chicken, some onion, some carrots, some celery, which I don't have any celery, so I'm going without. I could use my mirepoix over there, but I'm going to use it for a different recipe later in the week. So I have that in there. I'm out of celery, so I don't put any in there. That's just life. Some days your chicken stock is going to be celery-rific. Some days it's not. C'est la vie. A few, like about a teaspoon of black peppercorns, whole black peppercorns. And then my family likes thyme in ours. So if you have thyme at your house, you can put some in there. Not too much, it goes a long way. And then, no salt. Remember, no salt. If you forget everything else, remember, no salt. Do not salt your stock because it's going to reduce. And as it reduces, the saltiness is going to go high. And then it's going to be too salty and unusable, and you won't know what to do, and you'll have to throw it out. So don't put any salt in your stock. You never salt stock. You always salt it after. Let me see, I need water. Water. How much water precisely? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm just trying to cover up the chicken bones. There, it's covered. That was that much. Da-da-da. Now we'll turn on the crock pot on low for about 8 hours. What we usually do in our house is put it in about 10 o'clock at night, go to bed, wake up the next morning, chicken stock. Boom, done. So when this is done, you will have a whole bunch of crinkly vegetables down in there and a whole bunch of white bones, and all of that needs to come out. Don't try to pour it all off into something at first. Use a strainer, use a slotted spoon, maybe like this, to scoop all of that stuff out, throw that away, boom, boom, boom. Once a lot of it's out, or most of it's out, then you could pour your chicken stock through a strainer like this. But remember, you want the stock. I was working with a guy one time in a restaurant, and we made massive amounts of stock. We made beef stock as well. I can tell you how to make beef stock real quick. Beef stock, take beef bones, rub some tomato paste on it, throw it in a 400-degree oven until that tomato paste caramelizes, and then throw them in a pot with some water. And same exact thing. Turn it on low, let it go for 8 hours. Done. Boom. Beef stock. So this guy, we had like, I forget how many, 50 gallons maybe of stock. It was a huge stock pot, and you put a strainer at the bottom and put a bucket, and then you open the valve and you collect all of the stock and put an ice wand in it to cool it down. Anyway, the chef tells the new guy to go and drain the chicken stock, and so he does. And when he comes back, the kettle is full of these bones and vegetables and stuff. And the chef says, "Where's the chicken stock?" And the guy's like, "Right here." And he said, "No, the stock. The stock is the liquid." And the guy said, "Oh, I strained it all off and then poured it out because I thought you wanted the chicken." So don't do that, people. You want the stock. It's not broth. Broth is made with meat. Stock is made with bones. Bones are made with gelatin. So your chicken stock, if done right, should be very unctuous. It should have a wonderful mouthfeel. You should see a lot of little fat globules around in there, and it should be very silky to taste, which you definitely should do tomorrow morning after it's done. And then cool it down, put it in the fridge, put it in the freezer. We do both. We put like one container in the fridge, one container in the freezer, and we use it pretty quickly and pretty often. But you're going to have the chicken, right? We all are going to have this chicken because we all are going to hand make our own rotisserie style chicken at home, just like I did today. And when we do that, we're going to be left with a carcass. Why are we throwing that out? Use it. And then you don't have to buy these awful boxes of chicken stock or low sodium chicken stock, which just tells you they put a lot of sodium in the other chicken stock. But that's because they want it to taste good, because they want you to buy it. Don't be a rube. Don't buy it. Tomorrow night, we're going to bake bread. Okay, so let's talk about this. It is about a 7-hour process. Eek, sorry about that. It is what it is. It's sourdough bread. So I'm probably not going to do it live. I'm probably going to have to bake it during the day. That means, however, but Mitchell, if we start at 7 o'clock at night and it's a 7-hour process, then it's going to be 14 o'clock at night before it's ready. It would be, but we don't have to do it that way. We are going to do something different by using it in the refrigerator and letting it proof in the fridge. That way the next morning you can bake fresh bread for your family. It's just how it has to be. I could do the video and put it out at noon, and then you could have it that night, but I just don't think I've got time, and I don't think it's gonna work. So I'm trying to do the best that I can for you people. So tomorrow, I think it's gonna be an edited or cut together or really, really sloppy video, because that's how we do things around here. But either way, we will show you how to finally make bread with your sourdough starter tomorrow night. Thanks for all of the questions. Thanks for all of the support. Thanks for all of the shout outs on social media. It's really wonderful that you guys are making bread for your family. It really means a lot to me. For those of you who can't make bread for your family, I am selling bread, not just out of the bakery at Campbell's, but also at the market at Fine and Dandy. So stop by there. You can buy some fresh baked. It's not sourdough, it's white bread, but you can buy some fresh baked bread. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. Ask me a question on Facebook. I try to answer everything. If I don't, ask it again, because maybe I forgot. I got things to do. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks so much. Close your eyes. Ignore that hand.